Something happened this week that we have never seen before with the weekly dividend ETFs. Of course, this video is all on the YieldMax weekly payers, and if you're wondering why I'm putting it out so late, well, I was with YieldMax just this weekend in New York City. Yes, they flew out a couple content creators. It was a phenomenal experience and a huge shout out to YieldMax. I'll be doing a post about it on Instagram, maybe even TikTok, for you guys that are interested, and of course here on YouTube as well. It was a phenomenal weekend, but back into the weekly pairs. We've got a lot to catch up on, and I'm really excited to dive into this video. Some wild things have been happening, of course, with one of the fan favorites, ticker ULTY. And I was able to speak about ULTY with YieldMax directly, which is absolutely amazing. So we're going to cover all of that and more in this video. Remember, I put $100 into each of these weekly paying dividend ETFs, and I've been tracking their progress for many, many months now, and it's been very, very entertaining. So I hope you guys do enjoy. If you like this content and you like income investing or making money in the stock market, don't forget to like and subscribe. We did surpass 20,000 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much. Let's jump into the video. CHPY has really been blowing me away, and I was not a fan of it at first. Let me tell you why. I thought that YieldMax was putting out too many of these. And while this one is the semiconductor portfolio option income, which I'm very bullish on semiconductors for the next decade, I wasn't happy that they kept putting more and more of them out, and they were at really low AUMs. Now, I will say I like these more than the RDTE ones, just because there's a little more diversity, and I like that they're just all in all performing better, I will say. So we have an AUM of 26 million, a dividend yield of 8.8%, but that's trailing 12 months. So AUM is assets under management, basically how much money is in the fund, and the dividend yield, this is trailing 12 months. And what that means is it's calculating the yield based off all 52 payments. So if it hasn't paid for a full year, it's counting a lot of zeros, if that makes sense. So if it's been paying for half a year, you're going to have half of those 26 payments that are actually going to be zeros, lowering the yield. And now this one has not been paying for anywhere near a year, but let's look at the last couple distributions. We'll do this for each of these, and at the end, I'm going to throw up my dividend tracking spreadsheet, which the template will be available by the time this video goes live. The template will be available for purchase for those that are interested. I've been working on it for a very long time. We had 40.5 cents, we had 37.5 cents, 42 cents, and almost 35 cents. Absolutely phenomenal. CHPY, like I said, has been kind of blowing me away. It's flying under the radar for now. The price, look at this. Price appreciation has been going up as well. Love to see it, and I do want to see more of this one, but let's check out our next ETF. I also want to say there's over 40 of these now, so I do have a free cheat sheet on spencerInvest.com. That is also where the template for my dividend tracker is going to be. If you guys are interested, check that out. The cheat sheet is free. Showcases all 43 of them, the days they pay, their trailing 12 months yield, and I update it probably twice a month. But it takes a lot of time, so I hope you guys do enjoy it. All right, AUM for GPTY. This one's even bigger than our prior CHPY, but we have almost 38 million and our dividend yield of 14%, trailing 12 months. So all of these will probably be in the 40 to 60% yield range. Some being higher. GPTY is a little bit lower, so probably in the 40% range. But look at this price bounce back. Love to see it. We had a 32-cent dividend, a 31.5 cent, almost 32 cents, and then just about 29.5 cents. Nothing crazy, nothing to write home about. It's been trading a little bit sideways, but we did see it climb out of a hole, which I really do like. And I hope GPTY continues. This is the YieldMax AI and Tech Portfolio Option Income ETF. So if you're interested in AI and tech, this is probably the weekly pair for you. LFGY might be one of the most interesting ones. It's the crypto industry and tech portfolio. If you guys didn't know, crypto's been going crazy lately. AUM is large, 165.5 million. What I will say, the price bounce back has not been nearly as good as CHPY or GPTY, but the distributions are massive and the volume is also looking pretty good as well. So we can see, yeah, that dividend yield of 31%, but it hasn't even been a full year. Not even a full year, and again, a larger AUM because people just seem to like this one. Last couple distributions, we had 47 cents. I shouldn't say they just seem to like it. It pays more, so it gets more popular. Even if the price return isn't as good, then we can see 48 cents for that second distribution. Then we had 47 cents again, and then we had 48 cents again. So it's very high. I mean, our last one was what, 30 cents, 35 cents? So we're all the way almost to 50 cents. It's paying out more. we'll see how the total return is, because that is very, very important. But I also bought this one at a terrible time when it first launched at almost $53, and it's still at $40. So I need it to bounce back to be positive, but those distributions are really helping. I'm going to move pretty quickly through these 0 DTE option ones. If you don't know, YieldMax made these to basically counter the Roundhill ones, and none of them are my favorite. AUM, and that goes for Roundhill and YieldMax, I will say. AUM, QDTY is 8.8 million, dividend yield of 11.6%, pretty solid. 23 cents, not great. Then down to 12 cents, then 16 cents, and then 19 cents. So they're not paying as high, which is kind of the reason behind why I don't like them as much as some of the other ones, including the leverage payers by Roundhill. They're just not my favorites. If you didn't know, those leverage payers have been going crazy. My last video on them did really well because you guys are also blown away by how much they're paying. It's nuts. RDTY, AUM 4.6 million, dividend 12% trailing 12 months. We had 32.5 cents, we had 20 cents, we had 23.5 cents, and we had almost 30.5 cents. I will say of these, RDTY usually does better, kind of same with RDTE, but it had a bad start. RDTE did, so did RDTY, dropping from $50 to under 40, and now we're coming back up. So maybe there's more potential for RDTY, but only time will tell. XDTY has had a nice climb back from $40 up to $45. Nowhere near where I bought it at. I think I bought it. I don't even know where I bought it at. I was pretty happy with, no, I wasn't, $50. This is the first one I bought of the 0 DTEs from YieldMax, and I bought it at the bad time. Look, I almost topped it, and then it completely fell. I had almost the highest price you could buy it at, and then it fell. So my problem, my fault, but we can see AUM 16 million, dividend yield of 10, almost 11%. It just hasn't been performing that well since this crazy fall. It did come out in February. I think they all three did, and it was just a bad time. But the other two I didn't buy right away because the market was tanking, so I bought them at a lower price, and it's paid off a lot better. So remember that when we look at the dividend tracking spreadsheet at the end. Last couple dividends, we see 22 cents, 11.5 cents. That's not good. 16.5 cents and almost 14 cents rounding up. Not great from SDTY. Again, it's not my favorite of my least favorites because I don't like the 0 DTE strategy as much as some of the others. But honestly, like the leverage ones have been so phenomenal, and I've been calling those ones out. The last video did really well. I'll link it at the end of this one, and our update will be coming out tomorrow for those ones. They're Roundhills, weekly payers, some of them, and they have just been absolutely crushing it, as well as some of our YieldMax ones, right? So I like to buy the top of all the different, ETF providers, and that's what's been working really well for me so far, but only time will tell. Let's jump into our next pick. ULTY is at $1.22 billion in AUM, the largest we've seen. It was the first to surpass $1 billion in AUM. And now listen to this. When I first started tracking it, so it converted to weeklies in March, I went back and checked. It was at like 215 million AUM, 220 maybe. Since then, it has 6x'd. It went from 2 million AUM to 1.2 billion. People are loving this one. It's cheap. I don't see a reverse split happening. If they can continue in keeping the price as is, they can hold the NAV steady. I'm going to say it, this will be the best performer. You're able to scoop up so many shares because it's so cheap, and we're even getting some price appreciation now, which is well above what it should be doing. I'm fine with no price appreciation. It's yielding about 80%, which is absolutely phenomenal, and I really can't believe it. Really happy to see it. Dividend yield, it's 80%. It's not 133, 134. It is 80% across the board. That's what I calculated in my last video on ULTY, where I basically ran all the numbers since it had converted to a weekly payer. And I didn't even factor in NAV appreciation or depreciation because it kind of was sitting pretty flat. So I was really happy about that. This one is one I'm going to be watching very, very closely. And now to two of our most tried and true weekly payers. We have YMAG and YMAX. YMAG has underperformed what I was hoping it would do. We got 360 million AUM, dividend yield of 51.3%. Now that doesn't mean it's not a good fund. I'm not saying that whatsoever. It's the Magnificent 7 fund of option income ETFs, which I do like. Usually you get these larger funds that just don't have the volatility for high payouts, but that's okay as long as they are consistent. Now we can see the last couple distributions. We had 17 cents. We had almost 16 cents. Then we went low and we had only 5.5 cents. And we bounced back up to 12.5 cents. Pretty solid. We do see some crazy fluctuations with the Magnificent 7 based on the payout dates because there's only 7 underlying YieldMax ETFs in here. So it does make it a little bit more complicated. But I do like seeing, let's see, for the full year, we haven't seen a full year of distributions, but check this out. This one had drip on. So it did drip all the way in these lows, and it's been paying pretty nicely and just trading sideways. So I am a fan of YMAG. I do hold it in my retirement account, And that's all there is to it. Now to YieldMax, one of the most popular YieldMax ETFs. I was hoping it would surpass 1 billion as well, but we're right there with $974 million in AUM. Congrats to YieldMax. It's a massive accomplishment. I was able to talk to them this weekend about these things, about ULTY, and they were like, oh, that's cool. We didn't know that it was like the first weekly to do that. And so that was really funny to me because I was like, oh my gosh, how big of a nerd am I that I'm tracking these closer than like the people that work at YieldMax, but at least they know now. So really excited. I think YieldMax will be number 2 to hit that $1 billion market cap of the weeklies. Now we can see there has been some good buying. Dividend yield 63%, pretty accurate. We're almost to where this thing's going to be accurate to the trailing 12 months, but we need a little bit more time. Last couple distributions, we had 14 cents, we had 15.5 cents, we had 15.5 cents, and we had 13.5 cents. Not great with the distributions lately. We have seen them up into the 20s, and so we're a little bit low, but that is okay. The yields are still very, very solid. And if you're upset with the 40 to 60% yield, you're going to have some struggles with a lot of these higher risk, 100% payout ETFs, whether they be weekly, monthly, quarterly. We got to take our yields and be grateful, right? It's not often you can get a stock that's going to give you 40% with little to no NAV erosion. So we should think the same thing with these ETFs. So be grateful, definitely be grateful. And I'm really excited to see how they continue to trade, especially in this green, beautiful market. So now we're going to jump into our tracking spreadsheet and see what's made the most money, what's lost the most money, and what has paid out the most in dividends. If you guys do want to use Moomoo again, check my link down below. I've been loving the brokerage for the weekly pairs. Now we can also see we have YMAG, which is 34 cents and 78 cents. The reason there's 2 here is because I somehow missed a week. In the thrill of New York and all of this, my dividends were backed up. So now we're fully in checking these out. We can see YMAX, we had 87 cents, really solid, and $1.02 the last week, which was great. For LFGY, 96 cents this week, 93 cents last week. GPTY, 59 cents, 64 cents. Really good from both of these. These ones are really starting to shine, I think, and I really do like how much LFGY pays. And GPTY is very similar. It just pays less, but the NAV has been more solid. The price appreciation has been bouncing back. Then we get to these 0 DTE options. SDTY, not great, 33 cents and then 28 cents this week. RDTY, again, 32 cents last week and then 61 this week. Pretty good. And then QDTY, 47 cents and now 38 cents. They're just not doing it for me personally. Now, again, if you guys like them, this is not financial advice. Hold what you'd like to. I just think there may be better options for my investment strategy. And again, I said this with my podcast, and my podcast with Marcos Mia. Guys, please don't just comment saying, what should I buy? I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know your story. And there's a lot of things that factor into that, right? What you are trying to do, how old you are. Don't know what that was. Of course, there's a lot of stuff that I don't know about your life. I don't know how much money you have. I don't know how much money you make. All of these things I know about myself, and that's what factors into my investment strategy. So if you're going to just comment, hey, like, what should I buy? I have $10,000. I'm not going to tell you. I'm gonna comment and say, hey, like, what's your investment strategy? And I'm just not gonna ever tell you what to buy or not to buy, right? And I think that goes for all YouTubers. You should not be asking a YouTuber, what should I buy? And they should not tell you, you should buy this ETF, because that's just crazy, right? We're learning this together, and that's the entire point of this journey. Just because someone has 20,000 subscribers, 30,000, 50,000 subscribers, doesn't mean they're gonna know exactly what is gonna happen in the market. In fact, I would say most YouTubers don't. We just roll with the punches. And so, okay, rant over. Just remember that, right? Same thing with TikTok. And I know a lot of you guys aren't on TikTok. I'm on Spencer Invest TikTok as well. And people say all the time, I have $500. What would you buy? I'm not gonna say. You just have to learn it, learn your own strategy, and that's the best way to do it. So rant over. CHPY, we had 84 cents and then 70 cents, 2 phenomenal distributions. Not happy as much about the 70 cents, but 84 was phenomenal, and I'm watching this one closely. Last but not least, we have our biggest fund, ULTY, $1.69. I had $1.68 the week before. Can this thing keep going? I'm going to be tracking it so closely because it is my favorite right now. I'm going to say it. It is my favorite weekly payer from YieldMax. I don't know if it beats all of the ones from Round Hill, but you'll find out in tomorrow's video because there are some phenomenal ones. So what we're going to do now, we're going to slide all the way over to the side and let's see how much money we made total this week. We made $6.86. Pretty good considering our big 3 0 DTEs did not pay well, and we're still almost to that $7 range. But next week, I hope we surpass that and get back up into the 8s and 9s, because that would be just super, super amazing. We also had YMAG and YMAX not doing as well, or I should just say YMAG, because YMAX was pretty solid. So now we'll jump into our tracker spreadsheet, the positions portion, and see what's made and lost us the most money. Real quick, I have to say, when I had it on Moomoo, it's showing the distributions, that's per share. And it says it on there. It's just really small for you guys that might be on mobile. That's per share. When I just showed you on our actual spreadsheet, that's per our money invested. So the main difference, right? Like LFGY is not paying 96 cents per share. Just so you guys know. I get comments all the time. I understand it. I should have said it earlier. I apologize about that, but that's why that is. So we have all of our positions. It's looking good, and we are all in the green. Love to see the green. Some of these are doing phenomenally well. Now, remember, we've held YMAG and YMAX for the longest. So even though they are really well on the green, part of that is because they've been trading for longer. We are up 15.7% on YMAG, 19.77% on YMAX, and of course, LFGY is now into the green, almost green by 4%. Climbing out of that hole, market return, it's still down 23.73%. With our distributions, we're positive 4%, which we love to see. GPTY up into the 11% now. I might buy GPTY tomorrow. It's just been doing really well, and I'm really happy that it's been doing really well, and I feel like I should have more positions of some of these, so I might do that. Let me know if you want me to, and you want me to track it closer. I guess I can't really track it any closer, but I will be, showcasing it more if I do buy it on that, and I can track exactly the year-to-date yield, if it has NAV erosion, surpassing anywhere near the payouts, all that and more. STTY is up 2%. RDTY is up 15%. Wow. QDTY is up 26%. Now, I know what you guys are going to say. Why did he say he doesn't like the 0 DTEs when they're the best performers? Well, these are only the best performers because I timed the market really well. It's called the influencer glitch. Because I am a YouTuber, I get insights into the market that you guys don't get, all right? Just kidding. That's what people want you to think. The real reality is, if I had bought RDTY and QDTY at the same time as STTY, they would be in a much worse position because I bought them a few months later when the market rebounded. They're doing really well, and that's the only reason. Also, I didn't mean to do that. I got lucky. Just because people follow me on social media and watch me yap about stocks all the time does not mean I'm better at picking and timing the market than others. Even if influencers want you to think that, it's just not true. So, really happy though. We're up 26%. I'm not complaining by any means, but it is luck. It's not a skill-based thing whatsoever. CHPY, 18.5%. Love to see it. And ULTY up 26.7%. ULTY, again, not even just well-timed. It just pays out really nicely. And after the switch, it still dropped a little bit in my position. So we're barely positive on price, right? We're barely positive, only up 0.08% on my invested cash. But the distributions have returned basically 26.62%. Love to see it. Really happy with that. We're going to slide all the way over, and here's what we are checking out. You have your cost basis and your market value. So this is showing some of them are up with what I paid. Some of them are down with what I paid. Like YMAG, we paid $115, $116 for it. It's down to $94 in value. Same with YMAX, $110 down to $90 in value. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say this is NAV erosion, just the market did fall off, and they haven't recouped that loss yet. And then we have LFGY, again, another horror story, $106 invested, worth $81 now, not including the distributions. So remember that. This is a good spot to pause if you want to look at all of them. There's a ton of good info on there. And I guess I can go back. Whoops. And we can now see our actual dividend income. So total dividends received. Wow. YMAG and YMAX are up into the $40 range now, $39.75 from YMAG and $42.31 from YMAX. But again, these have been purchased for 9 to 10 months now, almost a full year. Almost a full year. LFGY, which has only been purchased since I'm a couple months now, 3, 4, 5 months, is already up to $30 paid out. So it will surpass those. It is a higher yield for sure. And the rest have been doing really well. ULTY is another honorable mention, converted in March. So we've held it for 4 months, roughly now, 3.5 months. And we are up $29.44 just from the dividends, which is amazing. Really, really amazing, and I'm really pumped with these returns. ULTY, like I said, it's my favorite currently. YMAX is a close second. LFGY, GPTY, CHPY are all honorable mentions I'll be watching really, really closely. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and let me know what your favorite weekly payer is right now, whether it's from YieldMax, Defiance, Granite Shares. All these companies have been putting out more and more of these because we like them, we buy them, and they like that. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, check out these popping up on your screen right now, including the last round till update with our crazy highest, best returning weekly pair, and our last ULTY full breakdown video for those that haven't seen it. Very, very important. It's $100 every single week with ULTY. It's a really fun video, and it showcases the power of income investing. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, check out Moomoo. Use my link down below if you're interested. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.